When it rains, it pours, but what happens to all of that rain once it hits the ground? Today we'll be learning about all that and more as we discuss the water cycle. Did you know that 71% of the Earth's surface is water? Where does all of that water stored? Where did it all come from? This is where our water cycle begins. The sun is the power force behind the water cycle. It transforms water into vapor through 3 different processes: evaporation, sublimation, and evapotranspiration. During evaporation, the heat from the sun turns liquid water from oceans, lakes, rivers, etc. into a gaseous water vapor. Sublimation is a lot like evaporation, only it occurs when a solid form of water becomes vapor without crossing into a liquid form. This is evident when you see steam rising from compacted snow or ice. Evapotranspiration is the process of creating water vapor from water that has evaporated from soil or transpired from plants. All of these vapors are lifted by air currents into the atmosphere where they condense into clouds. These air currents travel all around the world, and as they do, clouds run into each other. These clouds combine and grow until they eventually get too full. When clouds get too full, a process called precipitation occurs. Precipitation can do a lot of different things. When it falls in a really cold climate, it can appear as snow. Sometimes the snow gets compacted into structures called ice caps or glaciers. Ice caps and glaciers can hold on to water for thousands of years. Sometimes this compacted snow or ice melts in the spring and forms a liquid water called snowmelt. Some precipitation will fall directly back into a body of water, or uses the force of gravity to flow over land and back into streams and rivers. Some of it will even combine with groundwater seepage and form lakes. Not all precipitation flows over the ground surface. A lot of it uses a process called infiltration to seep under the ground. Once underground, some of this water nurtures plants. A lot of it gets stored in underground areas called aquifers. Aquifers are saturated rock areas that can store water for long periods of time. Eventually, some areas of aquifers will become full and precipitation will no longer infiltrate properly. When this happens, water sits atop the ground surface before flowing back into the nearest body of water as groundwater discharge. Sometimes, groundwater finds an above-ground opening where it creates a freshwater spring. And occasionally, water will meet humid air and the process of condensation occurs, creating things like fog. All of this water movement keeps occurring as the processes of evaporation, sublimation, and evapotranspiration continue, and the water cycle goes on.